Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about the Stephen King corner of Dungeons and Dragons. And the reason we're going to do this is I'm currently watching Salem's Lot, the brand new film on Max, and there are no spoilers for Salem's Lot here. I just want to let you know I'm extremely excited about the brand new Salem's Lot. I watched I watched the first one, which was like a television like movie. It's about 3.5 hours long, first one, and then the new one is a nice tight 1 hour and 50 minutes. And no spoilers, but it's fantastic. I've already watched the whole thing. I highly recommend you go watch Max's Salem's Lot, and of course, it's a Stephen King story. And so it got me thinking about Stephen King. So I did want to talk a little bit about Stephen King. So I really like Stephen King. I've read probably 40 of his books, but I think he's up around 100 now. So I probably only read a little less than half of his work, but I really enjoy him. He's got some bangers, right? But the other thing is, no dungeon master can ignore Stephen King, and we need to think about the Stephen King corner of Dungeons and Dragons. Where does Stephen King's formula for success live in Dungeons and Dragons? And I realized it's Phandalin. So Phandalin is this little town that is between Waterdeep and Neverwinter, right? And it's perfect, and it's everything Stephen King does right in his books. So Stephen King has 2 points of success. He's genuinely, he has some, not every one of his books is scary, even when he tries to be scary, right? He doesn't always succeed in being scary, but generally he has some scary ideas, and he understands horror at a level most writers do not, right? But the other thing he does, and the reason why his horror works, is you care about the characters. You care very much about the characters. So when they die, you're like, oh no, Mr. Baker from the old mill, and you genuinely care that character died. It's a big freaking deal, right? And the way he does this is he crafts a real world, right? Where every person, like the librarian has a name, the bartender has a name, the sheriff has a name, and these people are consistent and they matter, right? And that's the case in Phandalin, right? So Phandalin, the Stonehill Inn, Phandalin, Harbin Wester, this, heavy, and he's not like a super adventurer. He's a heavy set schlub who's always there, always doing his thing, and the other thing is, Phandalin is a city of dwarves and humans, dwarf miners and human woodcutters, right? That are going into the Neverwinter woods, and then the dwarven miners that are going to the mines around Phandalin. And guess what? There's no elves. They're out, right? So every time there's an elf there, they're a visitor. And this town belongs to dwarves and humans, and there's a tension there. And it is exactly the type of perfect creation of a small town vibe that makes every Stephen King book work. It really matters. So, and I think if you think about Phandalin from the perspective of it being the Stephen King corner of the Dungeons and Dragons world, it really helps to craft a powerful narrative, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.